Hello and welcome to another episode of Cooking with Cleavage. So my sister gave me some field peas. So I'm going to make some field peas today. I'm going to do it the same way I do my beans. Except I did get some pickled pork. It was supposed to be sliced, but it wasn't. As you can tell, it's sliced, but not as small as I'd like it to be. So I'm just going to cut it up. You don't have to make it super small because it's all just gonna, the fat's gonna hopefully render off. And all the meat's just gonna fall apart when you put it in the crock pot. But we're just cutting it in pieces so that we can fry it in the pan, give it the pan a little bit of seasoning before we put our vegetables in. Okay, and I have my fire on. So I'm going to put all this into my cast iron skillet. Make sure you don't have any loose pieces. And I'm going to put this Manda's diced smoked ham in there too. This is already cooked. It's smoked. The other part isn't. I'm just going to I'm gonna put it on top just to give it all some kind of a little flavor. And I'm gonna get my tongs to turn it all. Okay, I'm gonna put the inside of the crock pot. I'm gonna cook this in a crock pot. I'm gonna put the inside of that crock pot right there because I'm gonna put everything in it once I cook it. I think it could be a little bit higher. There's nothing sticking yet. You know, this pan is super clean. I cook my crock pot, y'all, with salt and a steel wool scrubber that a friend of mine gave me, and salt, because you don't want to cook the cast iron skillet with soap and water because it takes that seasoning off of it, as they say. So I'm just gonna cook all that. Give it a little sear. Oh no, maybe the pot's too crowded. You don't want to cook them too long. You just want to kind of sear them, which they're not really searing, but I think it's good that it's got flavor on the bottom of the pan, don't you? And then we're just going to put it in the crock pot. The crock pot. Okay, so I have here, I cooked it all in I cut it all up in my Ninja, but I think it was 6 stalks of celery. I used 1 Vidalia onion, 1 bell pepper, and maybe about 6 toes of garlic, as they say, toes. We use about half of that. And cook all that down, and we're going to season it now too. The seasonings I'm going to use: bay leaves, put a couple of bay leaves in there, thyme, I'm going to do a pinch or 2 of thyme. I have small fingers, so if you have, then parsley flakes, I'm going to do a couple of those, maybe 3, and then Italian seasoning, which I've talked to y'all about this before. If you use dry herbs, it takes smaller amount of dry herbs than fresh herbs. You have to use more, and you want to wake them back up by rubbing the herb between your fingers like this. Just a little bit more, and then you want to do some salt. Can always add flavor later. I'm going to add a little bit of Tony Chachere's to it, which that has so you want to cook that down until, a lot of people will say, until the vegetables start to look clear. What? I was making music with it. Mm-hmm. So see, they're starting to move. It did it just now. It moved, but now it's making a hissing sound. Yes. See, that was just getting ready to move. It was making a hissing sound. It was getting ready to make a belly up. Okay, maybe one more time, like that. Yeah. See? See it moving? It's got a heartbeat. Let's turn it around, see if that side gets it. Yep, that side got it. See if that side gets it. Yep, look, that side gets it. See, that's the hottest part of the stove. It's supposed to be even. It's not. So they say glassy, but does that look glassy? But I think that's ready. Oh, yeah, it looks like it's been cooked enough. So you put it in here. Because next we're gonna cook the venison sausage. So yeah, deer sausage isn't gonna put off a lot of fat. Like y'all have seen me cook Manda sausage in here. It's a pork sausage and it'll put off a lot of fat. But this does not put off fat. It's probably gonna add more brown sticky stuff to the bottom of the pan, which we're gonna try to get up. We didn't get much up last time. I wasn't concentrating on it. That's just gonna be a friend. That's the friends that can't break up. They're like, no, we want to be friends forever. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for a little while. Maybe a minute or a half or something. Okay, like I said, I cooked it for about a minute and a half and then I turned it. This is the turned portion. Y'all, it smells so good. It might not be giving off a lot of fat, but oh my, man, it's giving away a lot of flavor. And it's only putting it into the pan where the vegetables are going to pick it up. We're going to do this differently, y'all, because we're putting it in a crock pot. I have the peas here. They've been soaking. And I'm just going to put those in once the chicken stock gets really hot. But we're not there yet. But that's what I'm going to do. And that's why it's not... important right now to get the peas in, because that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to bring it all to a boil all together and then pull it down. And if you layer in seasonings, you don't have to layer as much once it's all in the crock pot. And like I'm saying, you can always open up the crock pot and figure out what you need to add, because I'm sure we're going to have to add salt and pepper. Remember, beans and peas, they're not salted or peppered or anything. They don't have any seasoning in them. Sure, they probably pick up whatever's growing around them, like anything. So I'm going to put another bay leaf or two, kind of pick the smaller ones because we already put a couple. Italian seasoning, you could probably put a few of those. Like I'm saying, my hands are small, y'all. I just do pinches, but I mean, y'all might want to pick. I don't ever measure. My mom never measured. I'm just gonna do like 3 pinches And then a big pinch and a little pinch. Just doing a pinch. You can always add, you can't take out. Thyme. Thyme is something you can really overdo. So you just want to make sure you don't use any more than like a couple of little pinches. But keep in mind that I did use 2 packs of field peas for this recipe. So I might have been able to use like an extra bell pepper or an extra onion, but I figured to go over, you know, in the garlic and the celery. The onion, I made, it was a big Vidalia onion, so. And so I'm going to use a little bit of pepper this time. This is a little bit of cayenne. That's probably good. We could probably add more than that. And a little white pepper. I think that's probably a good amount. We can always add more. Like I said, I just eyeball it. I guess it's about a teaspoon. Look how clean this layer got the pan. The pan's pretty clean, see? You don't want to cook it too much, but that's because all that water that was on the bottom of it. And then you put that in the pot. Okay, so I'm going to take this part, this little inner pot for the crock pot, and I'm going to put it right in the crock pot that I have right here. All that can go in there. And then I'm going to turn it on. Which one should I use? And saute, just because I'm trying to get this up to a boil. I hope that is exactly what it's going to do. And I have some chicken stock here. Oh, goodness. I got the unsalted because then you can keep track of how much salt you add to it. I'm going to bring that to a boil, and then I'm going to add the peas. Well, while that's coming to a boil, I'm going to make a French 75. I'm going to make it with cognac. This is Celt. It was aged at sea. So they make it in cognac and then they put it on a boat and they put it around the world. On a boat, right? And they age it at sea. So it's a rare VSOP. Very special something. I don't even know what VSOP means. We should look that up. I used to know it. I don't remember it now. Very special, it means. Very special something. Somebody's going to know. Somebody's going to be like, I can't believe you didn't know that. I knew it when I was much younger. Okay, so we're going to use an ounce of this. And I'm going to use a half of an ounce of lemon juice. Oh, we didn't get a twist. Half of an ounce of lemon juice and half of an ounce of simple syrup. This is simple syrup right here. And we're going to shake that first because it's liquor with fresh juice, like I always say. It needs to be shaken. So we're going to shake that up. And then it says to add 3 ounces of champagne. Now, I think that's a little bit too much, but the 3 ounce pour on here is right where it says 1/3 of a cup. That's a little bit under it, I would say. A little bit under it. And I think that's probably good. I'm going to put it in there. I'm going to stir it. And then you strain it. Oh, and we got to make a lemon twist. Okay, I got it. So you make sure I shake it to get some of those ice chips on there. You see the ice chips? Then you top this with a lemon twist. So you take the outside rind, that's where the oil is, and you twist it to get some of that oil out of there. It's supposed to release some of the oils, and then you just drop it in your cocktail. And that's a French 75, y'all. The French 75 was made in 1927. There are controversies about who created it. But the best story I heard was that he was a bartender. I forget his name. It's some odd name. I had it written down for a second. But he was working at a bar in Paris called the New York Bar. And he created the French 75 because it would hit you like a howitzer, which is a cannon, a short length cannon, right? That would hit a lot of people. So it was the 75 millimeter rifle, the French rifle, right? No, this was named after the 75 millimeter rifle. Isn't it? Oh, 75 millimeter field gun. Is that what a cannon is? Okay, so it was a 75 millimeter field gun the French used to use in World War I. So it was named after that. And a lot of people were already mixing. This is either made with gin or cognac, and I'm having it with cognac, but a lot of people have it with gin. It's a more of a summery cocktail like that. See, the deep colored gin is more clear, like a martini. And people were already experimenting with both cognac and gin and champagne, or sparkling wine, but giving it the name French 75 just immortalized the cocktail, is what they say. It made it a classic cocktail, and it made it so popular. Now people ask for it by name. Now, y'all, it's boiling. It's starting to boil, y'all. It's simmering now. It was boiling. I just stirred it. See how that's starting to boil right there? See? And when you stir it, it stops because it's getting all of that the same temperature. But you want to get it a good boil before you put the field peas in it, or when you just let it go to cook, to simmer. So y'all, I've been soaking this. What I'm going to do is just strain it real quickly. So what I did is I just strained all these field peas, and I'm going to put it in. It's boiling, see? And then you want to bring it to a boil again with the field peas in it. Because this was not hot. The field peas were just sitting on the stove. So you want to get all that to boil again before you put it on a slow cook. That's my suggestion. Do you think we should season it again? I'm going to season it one more time. Remember, like I said, beans and peas don't have any seasoning. It's like when I've taught y'all about cooking pasta on a stove. You got to add a lot of salt because, you know, you don't want to add too much, but you have to add enough. And then parsley. I don't want to add any more bay leaf. I don't need that. But maybe some more Italian seasoning. This is when you get a good pinch of it. And thyme. You know, if only we had more time, y'all. If only we had more time. Seems like we never have enough time. But you don't want to have too much time, because that's not good either. Okay, and then you want to do a little bit more white pepper. Like that. Y'all know I'm not a fan of black pepper, but if y'all like black pepper, by all means, put some black pepper in your, and that's some cayenne. And then I'm going to stir it all up. Ooh, look at that. Yum. Then the only thing we're going to have to do after it's all done, we're going to cook this, what, for 4 hours? And then the only thing else we're going to have to do is cook some rice to go with it. But y'all, I mean, there are a lot of people who eat whatever they want with it. Same as people who have their gumbo with potato salad. If you want to have your beans with potato salad, have at it. Okay, so let's let that come to a boil, a good boil. Look, it's starting already. You just want to wait till it kind of gets everywhere. Just let it sit. When you let it sit, it'll boil. It's moving it around that stops it from. Where's the cover to this? Okay, y'all, look. I mean, this, it might not be boiling everywhere, but that is pretty hot right there. Look at that. That's ready to boil everywhere. So it looks like it's got a good boil going for everything. We don't need to add any more liquid. Look how much liquid's in there now. I thought at first, before I added the beans, I might have to, but no, that's going to be good. So I'm going to put the cover on it first. Put the cover on it first. I'll put the cover on it. It's here. It's dusty. Okay, that's the cover. And then we're going to turn this off because we want to stop it from simmering. And then we want to put slow cook, and I'm going to start it because it says 4 hours. Whew. So I just want to say this is a great cocktail, and we'll be back. Well, we let the field peas cook for 2.5 hours. And then I tasted it and it needed more. So I put it back on for 8 hours, slow cooking for 8 hours. So for total, it's slow cooked for 10.5 hours, y'all. Those field peas, I mean, they're not as moist as other beans. Once you cook them down, you have to cook them longer. And I think I cooked those longer than the black eyed peas I cooked for New Year's this year, which is the truth. But I did think that the flavors really penetrated more well together, better together, through all that cooking and everything. And I do think even though the deer sausage was kind of dry in the pan, I'm hoping that it became more moist as it cooked, a little bit more tender. It doesn't seem as dry, but here we go. Here's the taste test. That is the deer sausage, and it does taste really good. Well, there you have it. I mean, those flavors penetrated so well together, I don't even need to add anything to this bowl. So, well, there you have it. There's the whole episode. I don't even... Cheers. Anyway, thank you for joining me for another episode of Cooking with Cleavage, and I'll see y'all soon. And that's letting some of the air out. You see, you want that to be open in case it needs to let out some... What happened? I had it the right way first time. Okay. And then start.
No. Stop.
Slow cook. Off. Slow cook. That's low.
Yeah.
And then start.
We can do some sexy little cleavage shots.
But thanks for joining me for another episode of Cooking with Cleavage. Cheers.